Okay. I want you to picture something. Close your eyes if you have to, but really, really put yourself there. You are standing in the middle of a grand ballroom.
Always a good place to start.
Right, but this isn't a party. It is a complete catastrophe. The ceiling is practically coming down. The world is just crumbling around you.
Chaos. Absolute chaos.
Yeah, and the guy who runs absolutely everything, he looks like he's about to deliver a literal death blow.
It's the definition of a high-stakes finale. The tension in that moment is suffocating. I mean, you can barely breathe reading it.
Exactly. And in the middle of this apocalypse, what do? Because you don't run away, you don't scream for help.
You definitely don't cower.
No, you walk calmly into a thigh-high blaze of magical fire, and you do it while wearing a ball gown.
It is one of the most audacious opening images we have seen in the genre in years. Seriously.
It's so cool.
It's not just an action scene, though. It is a statement of identity. We aren't looking at a damsel in distress here. We're looking at a natural disaster in human form.
And that is the scene that launches us into today's deep dive. We are picking up exactly where the cliffhanger left us, diving headfirst into these infinite threads by Tahereh Mafi.
A book that honestly redefines the series.
It really does. Now, if you are listening to this, you probably know the drill by now. We aren't just summarizing the plot. We are here to completely untangle the mess.
Oh, what a mess it is.
Oh, it's huge. We've got a dead king. We've got a confused, angry heir, a missing queen, and a villain who... Well, I mean, we need to have a serious talk about whether he is actually a villain.
That right there is the core mission of this deep dive.
Yeah.
Because this book pivots hard.
Yeah.
It starts out as the Cinderella retelling, right? The servant girl is secretly a queen. But in this installment, it hard shifts into a full-blown political thriller.
With massive stakes. So we're going to pull apart the dialogue, the internal monologues of Alizeh and Kamran, and specifically we need to unpack the massive lore drops regarding the Jinn theology.
The lore is so rich in this one. We are going straight to the text for this analysis.
So buckle up. We are going from the fire of Ardunia to the skies of Tulan. Let's get into it.
And just to set the stage properly, we really have to remember the emotional landscape we are stepping into. The king of Ardunia is dead.
Dead on the floor.
Dead on the floor.
Wow.
His grandson, Prince Kamran, is injured. He's confused. And he is watching the girl he thought he loved, the lost Jinn queen Alizeh, being whisked away by the enemy King Cyrus on the back of a dragon.
Talk about a rough breakup. I mean, it's literally not you. It's the enemy king and his invisible dragon.
It's the ultimate, she's just not that into your moment, but with high fantasy stakes.
But seriously, let's stay in that ballroom for a second. This is part one of our deep dive, the immediate aftermath, fire and ice. We have Alizeh walking into the fire. Visually, it's super cool, but emotionally, this destroys Kamran.
It's vital to look at this through Kamran's eyes because he is on the floor. He's bleeding out.
He's a mess.
Total mess. He is watching the girl he loves charge toward an inferno. His first thought isn't, oh, wow, she's powerful. His first thought is, she's going to die.
Right, he screams, don't.
He does. He genuinely believes the fire is going to melt the flesh right off her bones. And that reaction tells us everything about their relationship up to this exact point.
Because he thought she was weak.
Exactly. He loved a version of her that was fragile, a version that needed saving. I mean, he spent the entire first book operating under the assumption that he was the shield and she was the thing being protected.
And then she just snuffs it out.
Like it's nothing.
The text says she snuffs the fire as one might a light, like she's just pinching out a candle. It's wild.
That detail is the knife twisting in Kamran's gut. When he sees that the text says he watches with an astonishment so complete he sank to the ground. That is the moment of fracture for him.
His whole reality just shatters.
It does. He realizes that the girl he was trying to protect is actually immensely stronger than he is.
He says, I have been deceived. Which, to be fair to him, he kind of was.
In his eyes, absolutely he was. It is a complete betrayal of his reality. He feels foolish. Think about the ego blow there.
Oh, man, yeah.
You're the crown prince. You're the big, tough warrior. And suddenly you realize the servant girl you were trying to save could have incinerated the room if she wanted to.
And the contrast there is just huge. Kamran is described as being in incandescent rage, while Alizeh is cool, collected, powerful. Kamran is burning, both metaphorically and literally.
His clothes are disintegrated.
Yeah, his skin is scorched, his heart is completely broken. He realizes his grandfather is dead because of a deal that involved her.
It creates this intense dichotomy of fire and ice, which is ironic given their elemental affinities.
Right, because she's the ice Jinn.
Exactly. Alizeh, the ice djinn, walks through fire calmly. Kamran, the human, is consumed by the heat of his own anger.
So he is just sitting there in the dirt, feeling like an absolute fool while she gets on a dragon with the bad guy.
And that physical separation is where the genre actually splits.
Yeah.
This is the structural brilliance of these infinite threads.
Because they don't see each other again for the rest of the book.
Right. The book physically rips the two protagonists apart. Alizeh is taken to the skies toward Tulan, the enemy kingdom. Kamran is left in the dirt, burned and politically isolated in Ardunia.
So from this point on, we have to track two parallel survival stories.
And they are no longer in the same genre. Alizeh is in a dark fantasy romance, and Kamran is in a brutal political tragedy.
So let's follow Alizeh first, part 2. Alizeh in the sky. She is on a dragon.
An invisible dragon.
Right, an invisible dragon. Normally in fantasy novels, this is the part where the hero feels exhilarating freedom. You know, the wind in their hair, the world below them. But here, it sounds absolutely miserable.
It is a sensory nightmare. Mafi does this incredible job describing the physical sensation of the flight. She really grounds the magic in physical discomfort.
Alizeh mentions the frost in her blood, right?
Yes. Remember, she is Jinn, and specifically of the ice heritage. So the cold isn't just outside her in the sky, it is inside her. It lives in her like an unwanted limb.
That is such a visceral description. An unwanted limb, like her own magic is a burden she can't shake off.
And because the dragon turns invisible, she can't even see what is holding her up.
She says she feels like she's floating on a patterned rug.
Which is terrifying. She is completely untethered. She has no control, no gravity, no agency whatsoever.
It's a floating in the dark.
Suspended in the void, literally and metaphorically. She doesn't know where she is going. She doesn't know if she will live, and she's freezing to death.
Which makes the boot incident so important. I loved this part. She takes off her boots and just chucks them into the night sky.
Yes, we really need to pause on why that matters. It seems like a throwaway moment, pun intended, but it is a massive psychological anchor for her.
Because she's powerless.
She is terrified. She is kidnapping victim number 1 right now. She has zero power in this situation. Throwing those boots is a tiny, petty act of rebellion.
It's her saying, I am still here.
Exactly. The text says it gives her great satisfaction. It's her way of affecting the physical world when she feels completely powerless.
Like she might be a prisoner, but she can still drop footwear on some unsuspecting countryside below.
It proves her spirit isn't broken. It's a small assertion of, I exist, and I can make choices, even stupid ones like losing my shoes in the freezing cold.
I just love that about her. She's terrified, but she still has that spark. But then they arrive in Tulan. And this was a huge shock to me. I expected Mordor, you know, spikes and lava and dark clouds.
I think we all did. And instead she gets a garden.
A literal paradise. There are wisteria vines acting as a ceiling for the city streets. Purple flowers blooming forever. It is incredibly beautiful.
This is a classic subversion of the enemy land trope. Tulan isn't a wasteland. It's a place of high magic and staggering beauty.
Which messes with your head.
It forces Alizeh and you as the reader to question all your assumptions. If the bad guys live in paradise, are they really the bad guys? Or at least are they civilized?
But then the beauty gets creepy. The most significant revelation in Tulan concerns the sky. Alizeh looks up and sees these stars that seem to move and tremble.
The fireflies.
I honestly gasped at this part when I read it. Cyrus tells her they aren't stars, they are fireflies, but they aren't bugs.
No, they are the souls of Jinn.
Insane.
This recontextualizes the entire city. Tulan isn't just a kingdom, it is a graveyard, or perhaps a purgatory or waiting room for Alizeh's people.
Cyrus explains that the fireflies live in the third atmosphere and they gather in such huge numbers they look like galaxies.
It's haunting, truly haunting.
Alizeh is the lost queen of the Jinn, and she is suddenly surrounded by the ghosts of her people glowing in the sky of the enemy. It changes the vibe completely. It just feels so heavy.
It raises the stakes immensely. She isn't just visiting a foreign court. She is walking among her ancestors.
They are literally watching her.
Yes, it adds a profound layer of spiritual responsibility to her physical captivity. She can't just leave knowing that. Those lights in the sky are witnessing every choice she makes.
Which brings us to the captor himself, part 3. The enigma of Cyrus. Is he a villain? Is he a victim? Is he just really, really good looking?
The answer seems to be all of the above. Honestly, the dynamic between Alizeh and Cyrus is the primary engine of this book's romantic tension.
Their banter is top tier. She calls him a useless monster and a horrible cretin right to his face. And he just smiles. He seems completely amused by it.
Well, he's used to people fearing him. He is the king of Tulan. People probably faint when he walks into a room, so Alizeh's genuine disdain is probably refreshing for him.
She treats him like a nuisance, not a god.
Exactly. But the real brilliance of this section is how Mafi solves the trust issue. Usually in these enemies to lovers tropes, you spend 300 pages wondering if the guy is just lying to manipulate the heroine.
Oh, all the time.
But here we get a cheat code. The Nosta.
The truth orb. I love this thing. Alizeh has this magical marble tucked in her corset. Break this down for us. How does it actually change the reading experience?
It's a simple binary magical object. It warms against the skin when a truth is spoken near it, and it freezes when a lie is told. Alizeh hides this from Cyrus initially.
So every time they talk, we, the audience, know exactly where he stands.
We have objective proof of his internal state.
So when he says something that sounds incredibly manipulative, but the orb gets warm, we are forced to accept it.
We can't just dismiss him as a liar. And that forces us to engage with his trauma, because when he tells her his backstory, the orb is burning hot.
And that backstory is devastating. We find out he made a deal with Iblis the devil. And it's not just a generic, I sold my soul type of deal.
No, it is visceral body horror. He reveals that he is tortured to death and then resurrected by Iblis repeatedly.
He says, quote, sometimes twice a week.
Just let that sink in. Sit with that for a moment. He endures the physical agony of dying, the lights going out, the pain, the absolute terror. And then he is ripped back to life just to serve the devil's agenda.
Over and over again.
He is trapped in a loop of infinite suffering.
It completely reframes his character. He doesn't want to conquer the world because he's power hungry. He wants to conquer it so he can hand it off and finally just die.
He wants out. The villainy is just a symptom of his deep exhaustion. He tells Alizeh, I will not allow you to die.
And the Nosta warms.
The Nosta warms. He isn't being romantic. He's being desperate. She is his exit strategy.
He wants to marry her, give her the kingdom, and then check out permanently.
Precisely. It is the most tragic marriage proposal in history. Please marry me so I can stop existing.
But then the flower field happens, and he admits something else. He teleports them there. It's quiet, and he admits he feels safe with her.
That is a pivotal moment. For a man who is tortured by the devil and hated by the entire world, safety is a much more intimate concept than love.
Safety means everything to someone who is always in pain.
Yes. The tension shifts from hostility to a very confusing intimacy. He tells her, in my mind, you are already mine.
And the orb burns hot. He is not lying. It's so intense. And Alizeh doesn't know what to do with that information. She leads him, but she also clearly sees his pain.
And that complexity is what drives the threads of the title. They are being woven together whether they like it or not. But while Alizeh is dealing with complex romantic tension and beautiful flower fields, we have to go back to Kamran.
Because his life is actively falling apart.
Rip.
Part 4. Kamran's descent. If Alizeh's story is about discovery, Kamran's is about disintegration. We start with the physical transformation.
Let's talk about the body horror on his side. Because Kamran isn't just burnt from the fire in the ballroom, his body is rejecting his own clothes.
Specifically the gold. Kamran, as the heir, wears clothes woven with gold thread. It's a symbol of his status and the diviner's magic. But now the gold irritates his skin.
It burns him.
And the gold streak on his body, the mark of his legitimacy, is described as shattering.
That is such a disturbing image. It's like his royal status is an allergy now. His own body is eventing his royalty.
And his eyes changed color too, right?
Yes. The magic of the diviners, which upheld his family's rule for generations, is mutating. It's rejecting him on a cellular level.
This physical rejection totally mirrors the political coup happening around him. Enter Zahak.
Zahak.
The absolute worst, the antagonist at court. He wastes absolutely no time. He sees Kamran injured and disfigured and basically says, look at him, he's a monster, he cannot be king.
It's wildly opportunistic and brutal. But you have to remember, the diviners, the religious authority that could have vouched for Kamran, are dead.
Slain by Cyrus.
Slaughtered by Cyrus in the previous book. So Kamran has no spiritual backup. He is completely alone politically and magically.
And to make it worse, he thinks his best friend Hazan is a traitor.
This is a crucial plot point that demands careful analysis. Kamran initially believes Hazan betrayed him for Cyrus.
He even orders Hazan to be hanged.
He does. It's Kamran at his absolute rock bottom of judgment. He is lashing out at the one person who actually cares about him.
But then comes the twist. Hazan didn't betray him for Cyrus. Hazan betrayed him for Alizeh.
Because Hazan is Jinn.
Right.
This recontextualizes the betrayal entirely. It wasn't personal, it was nationalistic.
Mhm.
Hazan has been waiting his whole life for the true Jinn Queen.
So when he realized it was Alizeh, his loyalty shifted to her naturally.
That's a huge distinction. Kamran thinks it is about friendship, but for Hazan, it is about destiny and the survival of his people.
Hazan even tells him the magic has changed. He's trying to warn Kamran that his time as the legitimate ruler is ending.
It forces Kamran to confront a really harsh reality. The world doesn't revolve around the Ardunian throne anymore. There are older, deeper powers at play now.
Which brings us perfectly to the prophecy itself, Part 5, the prophecy in the Woven Kingdom.
The core mystery.
Both Alizeh and Kamran end up looking at these mysterious books. Alizeh saved hers from the fire. Kamran finds a clue back home. And we get this verse. I'm going to read it because we really need to pick it apart.
Please do.
Okay, it goes. Melt the ice in salt. Braid the thrones at sea. In this woven kingdom, clay and fire shall be.
This is the Rosetta Stone of the entire series. And to understand it, you really have to understand the theology Mafi is pulling from.
Clay and fire.
Right. In his long tradition, which acts as the absolute bedrock for this world's lore, humans were created from clay. Earth, mud, substance. Jinn, on the other hand, were created from smokeless fire.
So in the prophecy, clay is Kamran and the humans of Ardunia. Fire is Alizeh and the Jinn.
Correct. For centuries, the assumption in this world has been that these two elements cannot mix. Fire burns clay. Clay smothers fire. It's a war of absolute extermination.
The humans have hunted the Jinn because they believe they are fundamentally incompatible with their existence.
But look at the words the prophecy uses. It uses the word woven. In this woven kingdom, clay and fire shall be.
It implies coexistence. It says, braid the thrones. You don't braid something by destroying one of the strands, you braid by interlacing them.
Exactly. So everyone, Zahak the court, even Kamran initially, who thinks this is a war of us versus them, is misinterpreting the holy text.
They are fighting for dominance when the prophecy is actually demanding integration.
And the triangular symbol Kamran finds confirms this. It's interlaced triangles. It suggests a union, a weaving together of distinct elements, not the dominance of one over the other.
That changes the whole narrative. It suggests that the Woven Kingdom isn't a place, it's a state of being where these two races exist together.
Precisely. And the grand tragedy is that our main characters are too traumatized to see it yet. Kamran is too angry, and Alizeh is too scared.
Speaking of Kamran being angry, let's talk about the climax, Part 6. Kamran hits absolute rock bottom. Grandfather is dead, girl is gone. His own skin is rejecting gold. Zahak is actively cornering him. He is effectively a fugitive in his own palace.
But right then, we get a beautiful moment of humanity with Omid.
Omid, the street kid. He tries to give Kamran the Sif, that magical healing cube.
This thing is worth a fortune. It could save Kamran's life instantly.
And Kamran refuses it.
He refuses it. It shows that despite his rage, despite his profound confusion, Kamran is still noble. He tells the boy to keep it. I will not take it from you.
It proves he is still a king in spirit, even if the gold is rejecting his skin. He protects the weak, even when he is weak himself.
But he is running out of options fast. And then he remembers the feather.
The gift from his grandfather. The instruction was clear. Use only when all else seems lost.
I think stripped of title and hunted by your own ministers definitely counts as all else is lost.
Totally. So he presses the feather to his bloody hand, and the Simorg arrives.
The Simorg. This giant, mythical, dragon-like bird. It is the symbol of the Ardunian kings. It's supposed to be the ultimate validation of his rule.
But there's a huge twist here, too.
A massive one. And this is the detail that keeps me up at night. The bird lands, and it bows to Hazan first.
What? I mean, reading that, I was like, wait, what just happened?
It's brief, but it acknowledges the Jinn presence. It acknowledges Hazan. Then it allows Kamran to mount it.
It's a very subtle hint that the validity of the throne is shifting, or perhaps that the Simorg recognizes the fire, the Jinn, as much as the clay, the human.
That is wild. The bird acknowledges the fire before it acknowledges the clay. It saves Kamran, yes, but that split-second bow suggests that the divine right of kings in Ardunia is shifting. The ancient magic knows the Jinn are back.
So Kamran flies off into the night, leaving his kingdom behind. He's now a rebel king on a bird that might actually like his best friend more than him.
Which parallels Alizeh perfectly. She started as a servant and is becoming a queen. He started as a king and is becoming a fugitive. Their trajectories have crossed and entirely inverted.
Speaking of Alizeh becoming a queen, Part 7, Alizeh's realization. She can't just stay in the flower field with Cyrus forever.
No, she cannot. She is taken to the city streets of Tulan, and this is where the reality of her position finally hits her.
She encounters the Jinn populace.
And they know who she is. Whispers have spread. The servant boy from the palace talked. The people are shouting, "My queen," and crying out for justice.
This is the moment Alizeh stops being a passive protagonist. She sees the suffering of her people firsthand. They are weeping, telling her about their families in prisons, the injustices they face daily.
She realizes that walking away, or even just running off with Kamran if she could, is an act of selfishness she cannot commit.
It cements her decision. She has to stay, not because she loves Cyrus, but because she loves her people.
She has a responsibility. If she marries Cyrus, she gains the political power to stop their suffering.
It complicates the romance incredibly. She is now allied with Cyrus politically because it is the only way to save her people. Kamran, meanwhile, believes she is a traitor allied with the enemy who killed his grandfather.
It is the ultimate tragedy setup.
Yeah.
Alizeh's doing the noble thing, but to Kamran it looks like the ultimate betrayal.
So let's wrap this up in our outro. Where does this leave us at the end of these infinite threads?
We have a radically new status quo. Alizeh is the reluctant potential queen of Tulan, allied with a man who desperately wants to die.
And Kamran is the fugitive king of Ardunia, riding a mythical bird fueled by rage and a core belief that he has been betrayed by everyone he loves.
And the overarching theme has shifted entirely from fairy tale to tragedy. The question isn't will they get together, it's can they survive each other?
The prompt the book leaves us with is so haunting. Can two people love each other when their blood, their prophecies, and their political responsibilities demand they destroy one another?
That is the crux of the whole series now.
And here's the final thought I want to leave you with, listeners. Here's where it gets really, really interesting. If Cyrus wants to die, and Kamran wants to kill Cyrus, and Alizeh needs an empire, are they all just walking into a trap set by Iblis?
Or is there a third way?
Right.
The braided thrones. That is the key. If they stop fighting and start weaving, maybe they survive. But right now, everyone is holding a sword, not a needle.
Oof. Everyone is holding a sword, not a needle. That is absolutely quote of the deep dive. We are going to leave you there to agonize over it until the next book drops. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.